started innocently enough, a dinner party at our home, filled with laughter, music, and the scent of home-cooked meals. My husband, Aaron, had invited his closest friend, Daniel. They'd been inseparable for years. I admired their bond. But that night, something shifted, and I couldn't shake the feeling of Daniel's gaze lingering on me longer than it should. At first, I brushed it off. I told myself I was imagining things, that I was reading too much into friendly compliments. "You look stunning tonight, Emily," Daniel said, his tone warm but holding something I couldn't quite identify. Aaron, oblivious, laughed and poured Daniel another drink. As the evening progressed, Daniel's attention became harder to ignore. I found reasons to stand closer, to brush his hand against mine when passing dishes. My discomfort grew, but I didn't want to make a scene. Aaron trusted him, and I didn't want to cause tension. Tipping point came when Aaron stepped away to take a phone call. Left alone in the kitchen with Daniel, the air felt heavy, charged with an unspoken tension. "You know, Emily," he began, leaning against the counter with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Aaron's a lucky man. If things were different." I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. "What are you talking about, Daniel?" I asked, my voice sharper than I intended. He stepped closer, his voice low and unsettlingly smooth. "You've always been special. I see the way you light up a room. Aaron doesn't realize how good he's got it." Anger and fear flared inside me. I took a step back, putting the island between us. "Daniel, you're crossing a line. This is completely inappropriate," I said, my voice firm despite the tremble in my hands. Before he could respond, Aaron's voice echoed from the hallway. "What's going on in here?" he asked, walking in with an easy smile that faded the moment he saw my face. "Nothing," Daniel said quickly, too quickly, just complimenting Emily on the lovely dinner. I wanted to scream, to tell Aaron everything right then and there, but I hesitated. I didn't want to destroy their friendship, not without thinking it through. The night ended awkwardly. Daniel left soon after, and Aaron noticed my unease. "What's wrong, Em?" he asked as we cleaned up. I shook my head, forcing a smile. "Just tired," I replied, hoping to avoid the conversation until I sorted out my thoughts. But Daniel's behavior didn't stop. Over the next few weeks, he found excuses to drop by unannounced, his comments growing bolder, his presence more intrusive. Started avoiding him, making excuses to leave the room whenever he was around. One evening, when Aaron was out of town for work, Daniel showed up at our door. My stomach churned as I opened it, his smile too familiar, too confident. "Aaron's not here," I said firmly, trying to close the door, but he blocked it with his hand. "I know," he said. "I came to see you." My heart raced as I stepped back, my mind scrambling for a way to get him to leave. "This isn't appropriate, Daniel. You need to go." He stepped inside, his tone shifting to one of mock concern. "Come on, Emily. You can't deny there's something between us. Aaron doesn't have to know." "Get out," I said, my voice trembling with anger and fear. "Right now, before I call Aaron or the police." For a moment, he looked taken aback. Then his expression hardened. "Fine," he said, his voice cold. "But don't pretend you didn't enjoy the attention." I slammed the door behind him, my hands shaking as I locked it. Tears streamed down my face as I dialed Aaron's number. He needed to know. When Aaron returned the next day, I told him everything. His face went pale, his jaw tightening as I recounted Daniel's behavior. "I'll handle it," he said, his voice low and steady, but I could see the storm brewing in his eyes. Aaron confronted Daniel that evening, their voices echoing through the house as I waited upstairs. It was a painful, heated argument that ended with Aaron cutting ties with his once closest friend. In the days that followed, Aaron and I worked to rebuild the trust and safety Daniel had shaken. It wasn't easy, but we grew stronger together, united in the face of betrayal. Looking back, I realized how important it is to speak up, to set boundaries and protect your peace. Sometimes, the people we trust the most can cross lines we never imagined. But through the pain and the loss, I found strength and the unwavering support of the man I loved.